All right, everybody, what's Babooni cooking with today? It's restarting the tournament season. We got Lackey Grand Prix going. We got the Rob M Zoom tournament going, and we got a new set of cards. So quite a lot to think about and do. So right now I'm trying to tackle the question, are any of these Israel's Inheritance cards good in Nativity? How is that going to change things? And so we get to play Victorious Being now, which is a card that can go search up the prophets. So notably, it can go grab Res Revealer, Messianic Messenger, and Mary, which are three of your best heroes. Well, at least Mary is in Res Revealer. So on turn one, probably be wanting to go get Res Revealer. On any other turn, you want to go get Mary. And if you already have Mary, then you probably don't need to attack with this guy. And it's also nice that you can go to discard pile, so if Mary does die somehow, and get her back. So not only that, we get to play Disoriented, a new Lost Soul. Cool thing that Nativity can do specifically is use the star ability, Lost Child Found, pair that with Star Bethlehem, and that turns into, at any time in the game, if you have Star Bethlehem and Lost Child Found somewhere, you can play Star, activate the Star ability, play this out of your deck, negate something, which is, I don't know, seems kind of cute. See, I think this also is going to be good even without that, but it's just nice that we can even leverage that even more. And another Israel's Inheritance card I feel like it's going to make some waves is the Woman of Thebes. It's a very hard to interact with block. That requires either 3 Woes to negate it after they block, or some sort of preemptive negating or protecting of the lost souls. I was thinking of this the other day, like what other things can get around it. Believe the awesome things part, if you play an enhancement that either interrupts the battle, that would interrupt her ability because that was the last card played by the opponent. So, or you could have you played the Long Day to add a Joshua here to battle that negated protect abilities, or the Captain of the Host negated an evil card. So, but kind of aside from that, yeah, it's just a solid block. And so I wanted to see how powerful this card was. I have some cute ways I think it works really well in the existing gray and black defenses out there. So we're moving away from Herod's a little bit, trying out some of the new toys from Israel's Inheritance. We also got Mr. Thumbless, can give this card to opponent to add evil Canaanites from deck or reserve. So this is a Canaanite, this is a Canaanite, this is a Canaanite. And so the idea is maybe we can get off a couple of blocks with just one card for little investment. It's so big when you can block and prevent the opponent from playing cards and also not invest a lot of cards in doing that. So Women of Thebes is like a great way to do that. And especially because you can get her multiple times. So not only can you just play her, block with her, give her to the opponent, and then use 20 shekels to bounce her and do that again next turn if they don't have an answer. You can block with her, give it to your opponent next turn, block with this guy, go to your reserve to grab Lot's Wife. Lot's Wife bans to Woman of Thebes. Woman of Thebes says you may give your evil Canaanite. So you don't control Woman of Thebes anymore, so you can't give her. But you can give Lot's Wife. So you give Lot's Wife over to them and you do it again. It just sounds really annoying, right? I mean, I imagine decks are going to have answers to that. They're just going to play more soul protection, but I just wanted to see how practical this was in theory. So in order to hedge against Woman of Thebes, I am playing Guardians for Glory. Anything else that's different or new here? Oh yeah, here's a cute combo. Temple Guard. He's like, well, you're probably asking, why do I have Temple Guard in here? You may play enhancement with a band or capture ability. Band, capture, and play abilities cannot be prevented by good cards. So I was like, okay. But any evil character with a play ability is worth a second look, I feel like. So the idea is, okay, so I only have one evil enhancer in the deck with the band ability. So if I go Deceiver into Temple Guard, I can get Tenants Kill His Son. And I'm only going to make this play if I have a Goliath in play, and you'll see why. So I go Temple Guard, Tenants Kill His Son. I get to play that without getting initiative. Tenants Kill His Son interrupts the battle, interrupts anything going on with the opponent's characters. Bans to Evil Human, so I'm going to ban to Goliath. And Goliath's ability will trigger before the rest of Tenants will resolve. So this is going to negate ban, draw, and play abilities. So it's going to negate any banding going on. It's going to negate the play ability from Temple Guard. So that means this will go back to my hand. And then a Goliath's ability will trigger, withdraw all heroes. Oh yeah, and it's negating the ban. So Goliath is going to go back to territory. And it's going to withdraw all heroes. Opponent's going to have to present a new hero. And then so it's just Temple Guard left in battle. Tenants is in my hand, but the effect of Tenants is still going. So we did the ban part, and now we're going to discard a hero. So they're presenting a hero in battle with Goliath, a new hero, and hopefully it's only one because banding's negated. So you can actually discard that hero now. And opponent, traditionally, has no way to negate that. There's no way they can target the tenants right now. So if they have enhancement like this, it says negate and discard an evil card, or like negate and reserve an evil card. You can't target it, so you can't use your negate. Or if you have an interrupt the battle, that's not going to work either because Tenants of the Sun isn't in battle. So if you try to interrupt the battle, you're not, that's not doing anything for you. So it's like or like use negate cards in battle. That's not going to do anything for you either. So the only thing that could get you out of this is maybe, so the reason these interrupt the battle cards aren't going to work is you have to get rid of the thing putting you in special initiative. So if you had a card that said interrupt the battle and underdeck an evil card from opponent's hand, you could do that, interrupt the battle, underdeck this. That would be getting rid of the thing that's putting you in special initiative. So that's why this doesn't work, because this is not addressing the thing that's putting you in special initiative. So cards like interrupt the battle, underdeck a card from opponent's hand, or negate and discard the last evil enhancement played in battle, only those would get people out of that. So that's like a really cute, really tricky play that I miss having access to, because I liked having Herod's Executioner, and I like just being able to block and play enhancement, and opponent can't do anything. So that's kind of like trying to evoke that, but it requires some setup, requires me having this, requires having Goliath in play or in my hand. But I'm just hoping it's like a special block that people don't see coming. And the cool thing, it's all CBP. So if people are attacking with a bunch of negates, like Temple Guard cannot be prevented, Tenants cannot be prevented if you control a Meek. Goliath is CBN. So that all works through people trying to negate your stuff. So yeah. All right, enough yapping. Let's get to the gameplay. All right, so this week I'm playing against Red Wing. Red Wing is a very solid player, very clean, very knows what he's doing. I think he may have won the die roll here. We have the wonderful Stricken, which is a compelling reason to play black and gray. You get access to Stricken. He's going to use his Delivered Star to discard the top card of our deck. I like Delivered a lot. Can't really play it in this version of the deck. They're going to snipe the 20 Shekels off the top of our deck. It's not a card we need to win the game, but it is a card that I do love to have in the late stages of the game. I love being able to see what's in their hand. And so we're going to not be able to know what's in their hand this game. All right, so they're at some sort of Crimson Prophet deck. A lot of Crimson and a lot of green cards. And since we're going second, we can do the star ability of John the Fisherman. If I went first and I top decked the Resurrection and then they went second and they activated their Delivered, discard my Resurrection, that would have been a tragedy. So we're top decking the Resurrection. So going second for us is actually really nice here. Not only do we get to stricken them on the first turn of the game, we get to set up nicely for the Resurrection. So Prosperity now, this is the new Prosperity Lost Soul. I have to figure out what I want to discard. Ultimately, I'm not a huge fan of evil enhancements, so I'm going to discard the Stricken to draw 2. I could have seen an argument for not doing that. Oh, you know what I should have done? I probably should have used my Grumble to underdeck my Stricken and then discarded something else. Because like I can recycle my Stricken if I do that. So Obadiah's Hidden 100, the 10/10, may ban to a single brigade OT human prophet, protecting that hero from harm, which is nice. It's good against the scattered sheep I have in my hand, that's for sure. And then he's doing Vow for Samuel, which is an artifact I rated pretty low on my tier list. But maybe he's forcing me to rethink how good this card is. So here it comes, Vow for Samuel, protecting his guy. And now, right now, I'm trying to think, do I want to commit resources to fighting this? Because I have to do Foreign Wives. I have to try to win a battle against him in the face of Vow of Samuel. So I decide it's worth it because some games you never get to play your evil enhancements. And I think if I had to do this again, what I'd do is maybe play Scattered Sheep first. Anyways, we're going to try to just kill him. There's no banding. There's nothing going on here. Kill him, force him to pop his Vow for Samuel, and then Scattered Sheep him. But I think if I could do it again, I would do Scattered Sheep first, then Tenants. I don't know. I don't think it matters that much. So in retrospect, things didn't quite work out for me where I'd underdecked Emperor Claudius. And I saw he was a green prophet deck, so I was like, oh, Emperor Claudius, he's not going to be that good against the prophets. And turns out in that specific scenario, he had a 10/10. I would have been really nice to block with a 10/11, force him to have something, and have like a Stricken plus a 10 up to beat any negate wars. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate thing here. Okay, my turn. Now I get to pop off. Oh dear. I tried to pause that, but okay. So Lost Souls are going to trigger. Lost Souls are going to give him some Lost Souls, which is great. Get some Lawless action going. Lawless found me a 3 Woes. Disoriented came out, but it didn't really do anything. I didn't want to negate any of my own things. So things are going great. We got the Heavenly Host, which can start giving me Nativity heroes for my Star Bethlehem. We got New Covenant, which can go grab good enhancements for my deck, whatever I need in the moment. So I might play Star Bethlehem this turn. So Yeah, I don't know. I can use the Annunciation. I'm not sure what I should have gotten there with the New Covenant, but Annunciation, you can't go wrong with that. So let's play it on a Nativity Hero. Very important to play this on Nativity Heroes. Go grab missing dominance for my deck, Star Bethlehem. I know I'm going kind of fast here, but at this point, it's just standard Nativity stuff. Now, if I'm really trying to maximize, I would want to try and get less than 4 cards in hand. So I could attack with somebody, attack with John, and attack with Zechariah, and be able to draw all these cards. So I do a little bit of miscalculation here. I think in retrospect, if I had to do this again, I would maybe play down Herdsman, play down my heroes, attack with Zechariah by himself, or attack with Guardians from Glory, banded Zechariah, then play Resurrection. Because I missed out on drawing 2 cards here from Zechariah, because he requires me to have less cards in hand than opponent. So a little whoopsie by my part. All right, so his opponent is on Thieves. We've coming into play. Just pretty good against my offense. Let's see, he gets to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. All right, and he gets a prosperity trigger. He's to discard something to draw even more cards. So he's effectively drawn 5 cards, gotten rid of a useless card. So at least he's keeping up with me. Thieves, the Highwayman is probably the best card in Thieves. He's like, yeah, Herdsman of Garar. CBN draw is so good. Start ability is really great, really strong. Second abilities, you can banding, strong. It's like draw or play. So luckily my hand's protected, so he can't get to steal anything with the Condemned Thief, whatever thief that is. Yeah, the Condemned Thief takes enhancement from opponent's hand. So I guess he's just trying to, I don't know why you would ban there. Why not, I guess. All right, the Resurrection's coming in. The Resurrection's coming in. So I get the Res Revealer, which will negate the prosperity, and then I can ban the 3 anti-human heroes, and not any anti-heroes. So I can't ban to my angels here. Rob, if you're watching, you can't use Resurrection to ban to your angels. But negating prosperity is nice. And now I do have less cards in hand than the opponent. So this play actually worked out for me, because I can go get a card with the Magi and then draw 2 with Zechariah. Hooray! So a little misplay there, but ultimately, because he drew 5 cards from Highwayman, things just happened to work out for me. All right, so opponent's initiative, I am tossing next. So I have a really strong attack here. If opponent does have multiple enhancements that will threaten to destroy me, I have Lost Child Found, I have Flight into Egypt, I have 3 Woes, and I have Star Bethlehem to give my guys protection. So I think if he does play enhancement here and tosses and like threaten to play another one, I think I'm just going to play Star Bethlehem and then give my guys protection. Because I noticed against Thieves, the enhancements that they play, if you give all your guys protection, there's really nothing they can do. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So not only do I get to draw like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I missed a Heavenly Hills trigger. So I could have drawn 6 this turn, but I just burned. So I could have drawn 6 cards if I'd gotten all the triggers. So not only am I pulling ahead in cards, I'm getting rid of 2 of his best thieves, and I get to activate all these star abilities. I forgot to activate the Annunciation in my discard pile. And I get to take a look at his deck, play a Lost Soul that's negated. He's definitely on some sort of Crimson Thieves there. I just love this Nativity deck. It's so good. Top deck's Glory of the Lord. That will make me a better attack later in the game. Get some humble action, get some prosperity going. Or sorry, get some crowds going. I like double protection for my hand, protection for my heroes in territory, 12 cards in hand. This is just showcasing the power of Nativity right now on turn 1. Compare that to my opponent's turn 1, where they played Valve, Samuel, and Obadiah's 100, and they passed turn to me. You know, it's like, what are we doing with their turn 1s here? Not every Nativity opening is like this, but it can get kind of consistent. So yeah, there's the toss. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, he's just playing that to draw 3 cards. He already tossed. Now he's gonna be trying to keep up in cards here. I have 14 cards left in my deck, and it's turn 1. How did this happen? Don't we play 50-card decks? Like what happened? What is going on? It's just crazy to me. It's just the first turn of the game, and I've already gotten over halfway into my deck. Well, like I've drawn all my Lost Souls, right? So if you think about your deck as just being 42 cards, because there's 8 Lost Souls with you playing Hopper, I've drawn a lot of cards. Yeah, Son of God, the only Lost Soul that does something right now. It's the Humble. Let's go to discard. I'm being really greedy here. I'm discarding my enhancements instead of playing down my characters. Because I want my Philistine Armor Bearer to be a surprise. I don't want him choosing the blocker with Philistine Armor Bearer because I have nothing to exchange to right now. You can only exchange to Philistines in hand, deck, or reserve. And so if my Philistines that I want to exchange to are in my hand, if he forces him to block, then I'm gonna have a terrible block. but I could have seen the argument for keeping one of those enhancements in my hand. Like Virgin Birth and Flight into Egypt are usually cards that are fine to discard, like you don't really need them, but if something happens, it'd be nice to really have that extra negate sometimes. All right, so let's take a look at our blocking options. We got the trademark patent pended Woman of Thebes. We got the Goliath. We got a Herdsman in Foreign Wives. So let's see. I know prophets do play cards that say regardless of protection. So I think there's like the Plague of Frogs that can deal with stuff. There's also there's a new Israel's Inheritance green enhancement that gets rid of stuff regardless of protection. So if they attack with Deborah and draw cards and I block with Foreign Wives, it's not going to be guaranteed that I get the block. Although maybe it is, because I can go Foreign Wives, Glory of the Lord. That'll be pretty guaranteed. I could also go Foreign Wives, block. If they do have it, I can play through Woes to negate it. But I don't want to burn a dominant here. I want to save these dominants for my offense. All right, but like this is the power Woman of Thebes. She's going to block. She's going to get an enhancement from my reserve, and we're just setting myself up nicely for next turn. Get some trickery going. Black is, it's really nice to have it in the battle card in black. So opponents was like, my opponent does control an evil Canaanite now. I like this card because not only can you just do Woman of Thebes, give it to your opponent, grab this, you can also do Herdsman of Gerar, get this from your reserve. And it's kind of like build your own Salt of Tarsus block. It's not as good as Salt of Tarsus block, but some situations it certainly can be. So we're denying our opponent the opportunity to play their good enhancements. We're pulling ahead on cards every turn thanks to Stable. We are drawing a bunch of cards thanks to cards like Denarius, Prosperity, Star of Bethlehem, grabbing a Roman from our deck with Denarius. Saul of Tarsus is a Roman, and once we control an Emperor, we can sacrifice Denarius to draw 3 cards, which is nice. So I drew 4 cards off my Denarius. I drew 3 cards plus a Saul of Tarsus. I get to play a territory class for turn. I have a storehouse out. It's just, I'm just snowballing here. There's 7 cards left in our deck. That's crazy. Now we need to think about what's our strongest attack here. Probably involves Mary somehow. It was either a giant banding chain attacking, banding to Mary at the end there, or it's just Mary by herself. So Mary is pretty strong, but it is weak to cards like Falling Away, Christian Martyr. I thought I saw Falling Away in their deck. I wish I had some more hand protection, or sorry, I wish I had some more hand information so I could look and see what the best attack was here, which is why losing 20 shekels early hurts. So Mary Holy Virgin coming in, getting rid of a card from their territory. The thief is blocking. They're going to be discarding or negating Good Seed, and they're going to discard my Woman of Thebes to take Good Seed. So really strong play from opponent here, being able to not only get rid of Woman of Thebes, which I need for my Canaanite cards, they also get rid of my Good Seed, which is a great card. I think I was trying to get a little fancy here. I think I was just trying to, the reason I didn't attack with the giant banding chain of stuff is that I wanted to do Good Seed plus I could keep my Magi in my territory, and if things were getting dicey, I could go add my Magi to battle. Magi could ban to a Nativity hero. It could ban to Gabriel. Gabriel could come in and negate something. So I think I was just trying to get a little fancy there. Didn't want to push all my heroes, even though if I attack and push and play Glory of the Lord, like pretty guaranteed to get a soul. And then I could have just set up for a Star Bethlehem attack next turn. But I guess if they had gone, like if I'd done that and then they went Judas restricts good dominance, so that would have been a good answer to that. Okay, so Judas is going to grab an artifact from his deck. He's going to grab Ash Dogs, which is currently being negated by Res Revealer. Oh yeah, here's another reason why I wanted to attack with Mary, is just because I have Herod's Temple out, and I have a lot of enhancements that I can use to toss down people. And so I really don't want my opponent playing evil enhancements this game. So Herod's Temple is going to come and start a little toss battle. Mary gets initiative against Judas, so I can just toss something little at him, toss for 2, and that's going to kill Judas. And there's nothing they can do. So unless they have a dominant here that can kill Mary, and it's looking like, oh, Dominish. Let's see what they got. Christian Martyr there. So I do have a Stable out. So if my Nativity hero is harmed, I can reserve it instead. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so that is unfortunate. I really wish I knew about that Christian Martyr, and maybe I would have known if I had remembered my Annunciation, my Star of Bethlehem, because I could have used that to gain hand information. Might have known about that. I don't know, or I could have paid closer attention to what was in their deck when I was looking through it. All right, so Yeah, that's going to make it so he can't win the game in 3 turns, which was looking very likely. So it looks like we'll maybe have to push this out longer. Our defense got to hold on. It's doing good so far. It's held out twice in a row, which makes it so I'm like really far ahead right now. Let's see, what new toys did we get for blocking? We got the Warrior Overtaken, which is a nice insurance plan. We got Solve Tarsus. We lost our Canaanite, so Gibeonite Treaty doesn't really do anything right now. So Deborah's coming in. Debbie. They are grabbing a good OT card from reserve, which is just crazy. that card is strong. Any OT card from reserve, huh? Nice. The guy from Fire Foxes, which is good to play around. May draw 2 cards here. So I could go for the Foreign Wives block, and if things get dicey, I can go Warrior Overtaken to add another piece into battle. Another strong block, it would be activating Herod's Temple and then blocking with Emperor Claudius, because he'd have to try and toss down 11 powers worth of stuff, and he's protected from Angel of the Lord. So Claudius, Emperor Claudius versus Deborah. I don't know. I could have seen the Foreign Wives block being good there. I think opponent maybe is something. Oh yeah. So I didn't really like this card when I was doing my little tier list, but in this situation specifically, it is kind of good. Banish this card to shuffle all cards in battle. If you do, you may end the battle to begin a new battle, regardless of protect. So regardless of my Claudius protection from dominance, he's getting shuffled in. And a strong block got turned into a new attack. So I do make a misplay here. Like if opponent's just attacking and doing this, I should just block with Foreign Wives again. They used the card that got rid of that was regardless of protect. So now Foreign Wives can just block and have a free lunch. But yeah, Foreign Wives would have been really good here. But I guess I just went for the Goliath. I think I went for the Goliath because I thought I could negate the draw ability off of Deborah. But since Deborah is like gone, I can't really negate that anymore. And I thought I could push him out, but I forgot that Obadiah's 100 protects somebody. So yeah, a little blunder here, a little tactical blunder. Yeah. Oh well, for next time. So the battle's not quite over. I still have Glory. I still have Warrior Overtaken. And in this deck, I'm trying to figure out if Christian Martyr or Warrior Overtaken is better. I'm still not sure. I'm guessing Warrior Overtaken is better, but I don't know. Like Christian Martyr would have been nice here, right? So now we're in the scenario where I didn't want to be in, where opponent is going to be playing their good enhancements. I could stop them, but I do want to keep my Glory and my Woes for my offense. All right, Quake and Edom. What does this card do? Quake and Edom says discard an evil card. Well, that's sweet, short and simple. So now we're going to be trying something here. So Jehu is going to be negating evil characters. So I thought about adding Herdsman here, but I thought he was going to be negated. But I do have a Humble, so Herdsman's not being negated here, which would have been really good to just block with Herdsman and draw some cards, get something from reserve. But I make do. So I'm not playing the cleanest blocks right now. So I'm going to get my Armor Bearer. He's going to get the Foreign Spears, which is going to negate the Quake and Edom, and I get my Goliath back. So just some little negate wars here. I'm just trying to hold on to these dominants, and I should have just blocked with Foreign Wives. Or I should have blocked with Solve Tarsus. Yeah, basically any of these blocks would have been better than Goliath. It's good to learn these things in retrospect. If you can build your offense and your defense in a way where you're really trying to prevent your opponent from playing their enhancements, it's going to work out well for you. I believe. I believe that's the best way to build redemption decks in 2024. I believe Herods are great with that. Nativity is great with that. I think Disciple decks can do that pretty well too. I think Black and Gray have the tools to do that, especially now with Women of Thebes. This card's good, so this is another reason why you don't want the opponent playing their enhancements, is they can take dominance from their deck, or draw 3 cards, or whatever. So they're getting to grab a 3 Woes. I'm going to play Gibeonite Trickery to draw 2 cards, and I could play the Woes here, but I don't want to. They probably have another negate, and I don't want to fight this anymore. I give up. They got me. And it's okay to give a soul here. Because I'm so far ahead, my focus right now is just closing out the game and making sure I have all the tools to do that, as opposed to trying to fight tooth and nail over a lost soul that doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Isn't Nativity good? Even if they kill your Mary, you can use your Victorious Being to get her back, or if you have Stable out, you can get her just back from your reserve. So if opponent kills her with Christian Martyr this turn, just wait till next turn, right? So I have the choice here to do either the Coming Prince or First Sacrifice. This is a tough one. I could see an argument for either one, but I'll just go with First Sacrifice here. Let's take a look at their hand and see what kind of goodies they're up to. I get to underdeck an evil card, right? They got the Woes. They got 3 evil enhancements. They got a Scattered. They got a Seized by Babylon. Both are really great. You get 5 Banded. They have a Sapphira. They have a Lying Unto God, which is CBP, which works with Sapphira. Yeah, so what do we do against those people? Cool thing about First Sacrifice says you can underdeck any evil card. So I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do a toss battle, they would be able to use their woes to negate my temple. So I'm like, I don't know what the right call here is. I could see Sapphira, but if I just went Mary attacks, they block with Firefoxes, I woes their Firefox. Now we're in a battle. Oh wait, I could have done underdeck Sapphira with Mary, negate and reserve their plunderers. They block with Firefoxes. I woes their Firefox. I play Child is Born, band in a bunch of people, play Glory, and they can't use their evil enhancements. And they have to give it soul. But I think this will be fine. So they could either block with Firefoxes or they could block with Sapphira. I forget my Mary trigger, which I can get something from my reserve. I forget to get this card from my reserve, which is really relevant because having CBP against Sapphira is pretty nice. I do have a Humble out, but I don't have less cards in hand than an opponent does. So if they go block with Sapphira, what I can do is I can play Child is Born, get up to 8 power, and then play Glory. I'll lose my Mary, but I'll get the soul. Oh yeah, I could also do this. I can toss for 7. This if I do this way, then my Mary survives, right? Because they're being decreased 7/7. Smart by me. So they're down to a 0/1 versus Mary, which is a 1/3. And I play Glory, so they can't play any enhancements. The card that's really enabling this type of strategy to work in Redemption, where you're just preventing your opponent from playing the game enhancement wise, is I think Glory of the Lord. Like, I'm really surprised by how many people aren't playing this card yet. I believe it belongs in every deck. I believe it's that good. I believe it's not that hard to find a situation either on attacking or defending where this card will do something. This card is not going to be dead. It's good on offense or defense. It's better than Angel of the Lord, in my opinion. It's better than Christian Martyr. It's good if you're playing Priests. It's good if you're playing Temple Artifacts. Like, this card does it all, man. This card is really pushed. And I don't think people realized how powerful it is. I don't think the design team realized how powerful this was. It was kind of like kind of rushed, I feel like, but I feel like this card is going to have a lot of impact on the game moving forward. And if you're pairing Glory of the Lord with Angel of the Lord on these big offenses that like to push and draw cards and get card advantage, you're really going to make it hard for your opponent to kind of keep up with you or interact with you. Find an offense you like, find how it can draw cards, find ways it can get to Glory and Angel of the Lord and your woes, and then just keep pushing with your heroes. So a card from Israel's Inheritance that is going to make that plan a little bit a little bit less reliable is going to be Woman of Thebes. These general decks that like to attack, they like to go big. And Angel of the Lord, Glory of the Lord aren't going to do much against Woman of Thebes. So Woman of Thebes is going to be a nice little thing to kind of stop this Glory of the Lord, Angel of the Lord type of decks. All right, so anyways, back to the game. Sorry to rant for that. Sorry to ramble, but I do believe Glory of the Lord and Angel of the Lord decks are the best decks right now. Saul of Tarsus, because Saul of Tarsus used to be the best block of yesteryear, going to your reserve, grabbing unsuccessful blocking. That's pretty good, but like Glory of the Lord, Angel Lord, 3 woes, they get rid of that block, and Saul of Tarsus doesn't become that good of a card if opponents can deal with it. But because I'm choking the opponent on their cards and they're not able to get to their Angel of the Lord, their Glory of the Lord, their woes, that block is going to work, actually. So I did talk to my opponent, and after the game, he did realize he did have an Angel of the Lord there. So I'm like, why didn't you play your Angel of the Lord? But he did think Saul of Tarsus was protected for Angel of the Lord, but Saul of Tarsus is only protected from the next good enhancement. So the opponent should have got a lost soul there. Score would have been 3-2 at this point. I have Son of God in my hand, so that means I just need to make one more rescue attempt, and then it's game over. So here's something I like to do against thieves. I just like to do Coming Prince, put Star Bethlehem on top of my deck, attack with somebody that can get Star Bethlehem off of my deck and into my hand, and then just play Star Bethlehem with Flight into Egypt and give everything protection. And there's nothing thieves can do against that. The only things that thieves can do is they can do the Firefox block, which I have a woes for. I'm prepared to beat that. And then they have the Stolen Seed card, but I don't think they can get to that card right now, especially if I use my Magnificat star ability to discard Stolen Seed from their reserve. So yeah, this should be game here. Get to look at their hand to confirm, but I think Nativity plays really well with opponents don't get to play their game type of strategy, because Star of Bethlehem, you can use it twice, and a lot of defenses can't really do anything if all your stuff is protected. So between Star of Bethlehem, that's like 2 attacks, Glory of the Lord, that's 3 attacks. There's a good chance if I, in a perfect game, and on turn 1, if I can get to the Resurrection attack with John, toss the next, there's not a lot of defenses that can actually deal with that on turn 1. So I have like in theory like 4 really good attacks. And if I pair that with 20 shekels, I can really understand what the opponent's dip blocking angles are, and I can minimize what the opponent's trying to do and prevent them from getting to their outs. So if I see if they have just a deceiver that can go to their reserve to get their 4 and wife, it's like, okay, I'll play your deceiver, attack with Mary, negate and reserve your deceiver, and your best block just went out the window, right? Another type of strategy that's really good at making the opponent not play their game is hand control. So cards like Teaching in Parables, First Sacrifice, 20 Shekels, Promised Land. Those type of cards are also really good if you know what you're doing to pick apart the opponent's strategy and prevent them from executing their game plan on offense or defense. I really like hand control in the context of offenses, so you can be super proactive. Oh yeah, sorry. They block with Firefoxes, I negate it, my stuff's protected, they can't do anything, it's game over. But anyways, like I was saying, I really like pairing hand control with offenses, so you can just, because offenses, you're really proactive, and the defenses, they're reactive. So if you can proactively deal with opponent stuff, and you have a lot of attacking options on your offense, like it's pretty easy to line up a favorable attack for you. So if you get perfect information by looking at their hand before you attack, like there's no understating how strong that is in Redemption. Being able to dictate the terms of the combat is really strong, and defenses are inherently on the back foot because of that. Anyways, well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me. The final score there for that game was 5-1. Opponent did not find Son of God or Second Coming, so we got it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you around.